You ever sit back and think and get weirded out thinking about how much the art world is conditioned and determined not by artists, but by social media, by algorithms, by tech companies? Don't you think that's odd? Some days I don't think it's a big deal at all. Some days I just kind of brush over it. And then other days I really think about it and I'm like, my God, what are we doing to ourselves? There is a tendency to believe outright, for no real good reason, that art is a meritocracy in the world right now. That if you have great work, that will produce the results that you're hoping for. It will make it so that you get what's coming to you, whatever you may think that is: success, popularity, money, whatever. It's not really that at all. And it's not that at all because we, and when I say we, I mean both artists and art fans, we don't really get to decide what is great work. We have ceded that particular privilege to these constructs, these very strange, half-chosen contexts that we have come to take for a given. The algorithms behind Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everything. Even the most niche and focused industry things like ArtStation, all algorithms. There's something driving what gets put forth in front of people. And there's rules and strictures, and none of them are for the benefit of the art. They are for the benefit of the company, for their financial interest. And that is what decides what people see the most, what they are used to. And if you've been around the block more than once, you know that what people see the most and what they get used to is a huge part of what people think is great work, right? It's not everything, it's not the whole story, but it's a little easier for people to bestow the great work label to something that is an incremental improvement on something they're already very familiar with, as opposed to something new and strange and unique and original. And that's a shame, because I sure would like to see more unique and original things. I'm not much of a very unique or original artist, so seeing unique and original work really blows my mind, really wows me. And almost universally, I have found that I never find it through the typical channels. And that seems very odd to me. I only encounter these days unique or original work if, I get a recommendation from someone completely outside my circle, right? If my wife, who travels in very different art channels, shows me something. Or if I go to a museum where finally the taste of the environment is determined by something other than the familiar constructs of online media. At a museum, you are walking through concrete walls that hold pieces for long periods of time instead of just cycling infinitely through what the algorithm has determined will keep you on the social media longer. And the museums are not just grabbing from everywhere, they are grabbing from their connections and from their collections. And that has its own structures and rails as to what it's going to produce, but almost universally, You go to a museum, you wander around long enough, that's where you're going to find something that makes you stop and go, what the hell is that? How do you even get there in your head? That's where I find original and unique work these days. I can't remember the last time. I'm actually trying to remember the last time I came across something on Instagram, for example, that made me just stop and for real go like, oh, right. That's how you do it. That's how you be an artist. That's really something. It's not incremental. It's a big thing. It's a big different thing. It's a big change. It's something that just presents a completely different viewpoint instead of an incremental viewpoint. I think the last thing I can remember is when I found the art of Olga Dugina on Instagram. I think it's Dugina Art is their handle. But that was so long ago that there must have been something after that I just can't remember. But I think it speaks volumes that, I must have found Olga Dugina's art 2 years ago. And I can't recall a single thing after that really felt like a breath of fresh air, So I think that speaks volumes, but I can think of plenty of times that I went to shows at physical places, museums, openings, and got recommendations from other people that were actually, whoa, So you might say, all right, well, that's fine. Shut up, Stephen. Just get recommendations and be happy with it. And I don't know. I don't think that is okay, because there has to be something to the fact that the volume is so skewed that we, of this derivative work, or even if the work is not derivative, the fact that these services are serving us a very particular flavor of work that this mindless computer has determined is what we will sort of like by rote, like of course they'll like it, like not challenging us at all. That the fact that is determining perhaps 98% of the volume of images that we are seeing, I can't see a way that is not making us stupid as artists, just like dumb, like easily manipulated, completely conditioned, out of touch, just, oh, that's what I like, and because I like it, well, I'll do that, and oh, my work doesn't look like that thing the computer showed me 1,000 times, I guess I'm bad, I'm depressed now. If hearing me prattle like that upset you, it's probably because you're seeing something in there that reminds you of a particular mental state that you've been in. I know certainly I have been in that mental state, and even though those words were coming out of my mouth, I found my hackles raised. I felt attacked by myself, by my own oratorical process that I'm running. So I just don't see how can you make a case for the end result of that instead being, an opening of the heart mind of the artist, now more accepting of a wider breadth of work and truly open to strange and arcane impulses within themselves for art unseen and powerful? No. God, no. But my God, do I wish that we would increase how thoughtful we are being about these things, and perhaps try to put in a little effort to reduce the amount that we are being conditioned by these unchosen systems, and to perhaps undo a little bit of that unconscious conditioning. Anyway, food for thought.